Hi, and welcome to today's Daily Chronicle. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Spanish League cancels plans for Barcelona to play in regular season match in Miami. The Spanish Soccer League said Tuesday that plans for Barcelona to play a regular season game against Villarreal outside Miami in December has been called off, a decision that comes following increased opposition to the match domestically. The league said that the decision was made after conversation with the promoter of the planned December 20th match and cited the uncertainty that has risen in Spain over the past few weeks. Game promoter Relevant said it informed La Liga of the need to postpone the planned match because there is insufficient time to properly execute an event of this scale. It added, it would also be irresponsible to begin selling tickets without a confirmed match in place. The league had finally succeeded in getting approval from soccer bodies such as the UEFA and the Spanish Federation to stage its first regular season game abroad. By opposition of players, some clubs and fans have grown recently in Spain. The Spanish League deeply regrets that this project, which represented a historic and unparalleled opportunity for the international expansion of Spanish soccer, we will not be able to move forward. The league said holding an official match outside our borders would have been a decisive step in the global growth of the competition. Strengthening the international presence of clubs, the positioning of players, and the visibility of Spanish soccer in a strategic market such as the United States. It is said the project fully complied with all federative regulations, and it did not affect the integrity of the competition, as confirmed by the competent institutions responsible for ensuring compliance, which opposed it for other reasons. But the criticism against the game had grown recently, with players protesting during the weekend league games by standing still for a few seconds after the kickoff. Earlier Tuesday, Real Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois criticized Spanish League president Javier Tebas and complained about the league's decision to censor the protest by the players. The television feed of games switched before the kickoff to an exterior view of the stadiums and only showed part of the fields from distance. Madrid has been one of the clubs most loudly protesting against the game, saying it would alter the fairness of the competition. Villarreal was officially the home team for the match that was set to be played at the Hard Rock Stadium. Teams should play home and away, Courtois said. It's not the same to play against a team at home and away. It's hard to play on the road in the Spanish league. Playing on the road in Villarreal's field is very tough. Every team has to play at home and away unless there's a major reason for that not to happen. Barcelona and Villarreal were on board with playing the game abroad. Villarreal fans would be able to travel to the match free of charge, and those who chose not to attend would receive a hefty discount on their season ticket. Barcelona said it respected the decision but regretted the missed opportunity to expand the competition's image in a strategic market with the capacity of growth and resource generation for the benefit of all. The club appreciates the support and unconditional affection it has received from our fans in the United States and deeply regrets that they are unable to attend the official match in the country, Barcelona said in a statement. La Liga says the game was important for the league in an increasingly competitive global landscape where leagues such as the Premier League or competitions like the UEFA Champions League continues to expand their reach and ability to generate revenue. Initiatives like this are essential to ensure the sustainability and growth of Spanish soccer. The league said renouncing such opportunities hinders the generation of new income, limits clubs' capacity to invest and compete, and reduces the international projection of the entire Spanish soccer ecosystem. The league said it will continue, as always, to work to bring Spanish soccer to every corner of the world, promoting an open, modern, and competitive vision that benefits clubs, players, and fans alike. La Liga has a long-term relationship with sports entertainment group Relevant Sports, which is part of Stephen Ross's portfolio of companies that include Hard Rock Stadium and the Miami Dolphins, Formula One's Miami Grand Prix, and Miami Open tennis tournament. Plans for the La Liga game in Miami were renewed after FIFA withdrew from a legal action brought by Relevant in a Manhattan court. Weeks later, FIFA said it would review its rules and created a working group that includes UEFA lawyers. Tech CEOs say the era of code by AI is here. Some software engineers are skeptical. Tech CEOs are making ambitious claims about AI's coding capabilities. In March, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei said, "We'll be there in 3 to 6 months, where AI is writing 90% of the code." Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg predicted in April that for one project in the next year, probably, maybe half the development is going to be done by AI. Executives of Amazon, Google, and Microsoft have also highlighted large language models' abilities to generate code. AI tools have changed how coding works for some developers, and there are now fewer of the most junior software engineers. But despite the dramatic rhetoric, AI in software engineering might not mean a new age of automation. After months of sitting in the sidelines, software engineer Colin Vosge finally tried out AI tools for his work. He remembered watching a podcast where leaders of tech startup incubator Y Combinator, which helped Vosge launch a company, touted AI's incredible productivity. It kind of confirmed what I already felt about it, that it's really good at shortcutting certain things. Vosge said, "AI is great for writing little tools that you'll use once and then throw away." But he hasn't seen evidence of long-term boosts to his efficiency. Interviews show that many software engineers, though not all, share Vosge's experience. Some tell stories of untangling AI-generated code their colleagues have handed them. Others talk about the pressure to make up work that purports to use AI to make higher-ups happy. Yes, AI can write code, but still needs people. In an interview with NPR, Boris Cherny, head of Anthropic's Claude Code unit, said most code is written by Claude Code, but declined to provide a percentage. We're still working on the science to make sure we can give a really precise number. Cherny was also clear that no matter how much AI is actually used, every line of code should be reviewed by an engineer. He said this includes code generated by what Anthropic called agents. Agents are a component of AI tools that have the ability to test and rewrite code without human intervention. The function, held as much more autonomous than previous tools, was first introduced by Claude Code and was celebrated by many in the industry as a pathway to automation. But agents don't always work. When these tools are at their best, they'll auto-resolve a lot of issues. When they're at their worst, they will go into death spirals, says Vogue, describing situations where the tools, far from resolving the issue or at hand, get stuck in a testing loop. I'm like, oh no, you're way off. Cherny did not shy away from describing Claude like somewhat high-functioning person. I think a good mental code is that it's like an expert programmer that's sitting next to you, he said. Well, he said it can serve as a thoughtful partner. In some cases, in the end, it's a human that's doing the work. Simon Willison, an independent AI researcher who was invited to preview OpenAI's latest model, said that it's plausible that AI could write a high percentage of code. However, Willison said, I think they'll still need the same or even more humans involved in that process. That's because AI cannot think through higher level problem solving like engineers do. Our job is not to type code into a computer. Our job is to deliver systems that solve problems, Willison said. For Willison, who is known in the software world for tinkering with new tools and developing open source ones, the productivity bump from using AI depends on choosing appropriate uses and having relevant expertise. I am comfortable saying that for certain tasks, for programmers who are experienced programmers, those who can work with AI, they can get 2 to 5 times the productivity boost, sometimes more, depending on the specific task. Willison later wrote in his blog that the teams that benefit the most appear to adopt best practices in software development and collaboration. But that's not always what happens in real life. People are using AI regardless of whether it's needed, which sometimes results in more work for their colleagues. Researchers coined the term work slop to describe this. A very high-level engineer at the company was a very gung-ho about AI coding and thought he could kind of get this very complicated project done very, very quickly on his own and tried running some AI tools, said one engineer at Amazon who was not authorized to speak publicly. It produced this just kind of messy blob of code that didn't work, and nobody understood it. And the thing I'm working on now is just trying to actually do it kind of the old way. All this might explain why studies show mixed results when it comes to AI's impact. According to a study by AI evaluation nonprofit Meter, experienced open source software engineers' own expectations. In a national survey in Denmark, software engineers self-reported to have saved 6.5% of their time with AI. It was the highest of the 11 professions, which averaged out to 2.5%. I definitely take 3% any day. It's like annual productivity growth in a typical occupation, said Anders Humlum, co-author of the Denmark study. It's not nothing, but I would call it modest relative to the experiments. Engineers agree that AI shines more where accuracy matters less. Knocking out a quick, illustrated prototype would take me an hour before, and now it takes me 5 minutes. Because I could just tell Claude to bash something together, said Willison. The fact that it's going to make mistakes and stuff doesn't really matter too much. AI has helped cut back on some repetitive coding tasks at work, said Thomas Tasek, a software developer at the cloud infrastructure company Fly.io, because I've written a piece of code many times before. I can also look at that code very quickly and get a sense of whether it's crazy or not. Little room for disagreement. The Amazon software engineer said management encouraged staff to use AI in all parts of their work. Even where there wasn't a case for using it. It is very much a solution in search of problems much of time, the engineer said. The engineer said that all this is fostering a sense that there's little room for disagreement. You have to use it more, and it has to make you more efficient. If you're not, then you're doing something incorrectly. That said, the engineer also said that the rhetoric's tangible effects on work and promotion can vary across the organization. Amazon isn't the only tech company that appears to make assumptions about AI's effects on code. In a memo first reported by 404 Media and Wired, a Meta executive called for his department to achieve 5 times productivity. In software, as well as a broad set of other functionings using AI. The more we push ourselves, the more we will unlock. He wrote in a memo. 2 engineers were fired from an AI startup in San Francisco for not using an AI coding tool enough, the information reported. Both the Amazon software engineer and Vogue said they aren't the only engineers skeptical of AI in their workplace. A recent Google survey of software engineers across different countries and industries showed that while use of AI is near universal and improves aspects of software development, about half of respondents somewhat trusted AI's response, and 30% chose a little or not at all. Many are also worried about employers replacing junior coders with AI. Effectively cutting off the long-term talent supply that's needed to supervise the machines in the years to come. Others raise concerns about the massive amounts of electricity and content made by humans that the largest models consume, even as dramatic capability improvements have begun to seem elusive. In a statement to NPR, Amazon spokesperson Tom Purnell said in its in-house AI tools help engineers move faster, ship more secure code, and spend less time on busy work. And that through surveys, engineers tell us these tools help them save time and feel more productive. He also said that the company does not mandate AI use and cannot share what percentage of its software engineers regularly use large language model tools, but believes these tools can help developers work more efficiently. Vogue has since left his job and is now again thinking about starting his own business. He is floored by how much his old funder, Y Combinator, has gone from supporting different kinds of technologies to focusing solely on AI. He looked at organizations' latest requests for startups. It's just AI, AI, AI. 5 out of 5. Reversing peanut advice prevented tens of thousands of allergy cases, researchers say. For years, parents were told not to expose their babies to peanuts to prevent a potentially dangerous allergy. But 10 years ago, a landmark study found the opposite to be true, stating that if babies consume peanut products at an early age, they are far less likely to become allergic to them. Health experts quickly took notice, and the resulting reversal in pediatric guidance has helped to push peanuts out of the number one spot as the cause of food allergy for children under 3 in the US. According to a new study published in the peer-reviewed journal Pediatrics. Early allergen introduction works. Dr. David Hill, who led the study, tells NPR, for the first time in recent history, it seems like we're starting to put a brake pedal on the epidemic of food allergy in this country. Growing concerns over food allergies have reshaped parts of American diets, from schools and camps banning peanut butter in sandwiches to airlines nixing once ubiquitous bags of salted nuts in 2015. The New England Journal of Medicine referenced a quadrupling of peanut allergies prevalence in U.S. children, citing growth from 0.4% in 1997 to more than 2% in 2010. But when U.S. health guidance changed in 2015 and 2017, so did that trend. According to Hill, a pediatric allergist at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, who's also an assistant professor of pediatrics at the University of Pennsylvania. There was a 43% reduction in peanut allergy prevalence, Hill says, and a 36% reduction in any food allergy prevalence. He estimates that the changed guidelines have prevented peanut allergies in at least 40,000 children in the last decade. The tipping point in peanut allergy prevention dates to 2015, when research was published that aimed to solve a puzzle. Why was peanut allergy 10 times higher among Jewish children in the UK than among Israeli children with similar ancestry? Researchers noted that while British and US parents kept their babies away from peanut products, many Israeli parents routinely fed their infants a puffy peanut snack called bamba. The revised recommendations, including in the dietary guidelines for Americans, calls for introducing infants deemed high risk for allergy to foods containing peanuts as early as 4 to 6 months, in line with advice published in 2017 by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Hill and his colleagues looked at the rate of food allergy in young children before and after the revised guidelines for peanuts and other allergies were published. They did that by analyzing the health data of more than 120,000 children in the U.S. using records from dozens of different pediatric practices. Dr. Corin Keat, a professor of pediatrics at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, who works in the epidemiology of food allergy, says she finds the study interesting. Even if she's cautious about reading too much into it, she wasn't involved in the research. I'm a little surprised by these findings, because I might have expected that we might have more diagnoses just because people were thinking about allergies more in the past decade, she says. Part of the reason for her caution, he says, is that her own research has found families haven't been fully implementing the new guidelines, in many cases due to fear that exposing the infant to peanut products might also endanger a sibling or parent who's allergic. Key also says it's simply difficult to conduct a high-quality study about food allergy prevalence. She notes that the influential 2015 study called LEAP produced indefinite results by conducting a large clinical trial following hundreds of young kids over time. Hill and his colleagues acknowledge that their study has limitations, such as relying on diagnostic codes, which aren't necessarily equivalent to actual allergy rates. Their data also does not include information about children's eating habits. Still, he sees the study as another positive sign that a strategic shift is helping children. The benefits are far reaching, he adds, because many peanut allergies are a lifetime condition. It's highly persistent, Hill says. Only about 10% of kids who develop a peanut allergy will outgrow that peanut allergy.